Alright, so you've got your square piece of paper. This one has stripes on one side, white on the other. So the first thing you want to do is just take it and fold it exactly in half, not diagonal, but fold it in half so that you make a rectangle. And then go ahead and open that back up. Have a nice sharp crease there. And then fold it the opposite way so that you have another rectangle. Give it a nice sharp crease and then open it back up. So now you've got a cross in the middle of your paper. Now what we're going to do is just fold half of the paper up to match that crease right there. And make a new crease. And we're only going to do that to this one side. So when you open it up, you've got one down the middle, another one across the middle, and another one halfway between the middle and the bottom. Now, it might be kind of hard to see on my paper, but when you're looking at yours, maybe you'll notice it a little bit more clearly. I've got a crease right here on the back of my paper from one of the creases that I made, and I'm going to line that crease up with this inside crease, and at the same time, I'm going to line this crease I've got here at the bottom with this lower inside crease. Once I have those two lined up as closely as I can, I'm going to give it a nice sharp new crease, making this triangle. And then I'm going to open it up and it'll look like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this other bottom corner. And remember that we're only folding up the corners that are closest to this second crease we made along the bottom. We're not folding these corners on top that doesn't have that second crease. So I just took this one corner, folded it up, matched up this crease with that one, this crease with that one. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite lower side. I'm going to line up this little crease that might be kind of hard for you to see with the crease on the white part of the paper, and the same thing down here. This little crease with that one. And then I'm going to give it a nice new crease and open everything right back up. Now we've got the creases that we need. See how it makes this V? And there's one down the middle, and there should be these two right there. That's perfect. Now it's a little tricky. If you notice, there's this crease here and this crease here. We kind of need to make those creases be sort of inside out. I'm just going to show you the way that it's going to look. So the way I do it is I kind of fold the whole thing in, and then I use my thumb to make sure this crease stays right there. I do the same thing on the other side. It's a little confusing, but once you practice with it, it'll make sense. And you're just kind of pushing in here on the bottom, right along this crease, so that you can fold it all in on itself. And I know that that was probably really hard to follow along with, but this is what it's supposed to look like right now. And if you look underneath, I pretty much just took those two creases that were going one direction and kind of popped them in on themselves. So just to show you again, we had this paper open like this, and I'm going to take with my thumb, push in on this crease, and lay the whole thing over, and then take my other finger, kind of push in on this crease, lay the whole thing down on itself, and press down and make sure everything's nice and sharp and smooth. Okay. Now that it looks like this, I like to twist it around. It already kind of looks airplane-y, huh? Just a little bit. It looks kind of like a flying machine of some sort. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these little squares, the whole thing, not just the top half, the whole thing of this little square, and I'm going to fold it up on itself just perfectly as well as I can here and make it into a triangle. And I'm going to do the same thing to this opposite side. I'm going to fold it in on itself and make it into a triangle. I've got these two triangles. And now I'm going to open this triangle back up, because we really just wanted to make that triangle so that we had that crease there. So I open the triangle back up, and then I lift up half of it. See how you can still see the striped part underneath, or the colored part. And then I kind of have to, this might seem confusing, but I have to crease it the opposite way so that it lays up top. And I'll show you on this side a little bit better. So I open up that triangle, make it back into a square, and I'll let you see what I'm doing from the top. I'm going to kind of poke in on that little crease there. Poke it inward just a little bit like that. Recrease it, go in the opposite direction, and then lay it flat up top. Now it's like little butterfly wings. We're almost done. I know this was kind of tricky in some places, but it's almost done. So fold that top little part back down. Now we've got this little triangle here, and we're going to make it into an even tinier triangle by folding it inward. And this was really, the whole thing was really tricky for me to do the first time. It'll just take practicing it 5 or 10 times, and then you'll really get the hang of it. So we're going to fold this little butterfly wing back down, and then fold it inward toward the middle, and give it a nice little crease with our fingernail there. So now that's what it should look like. And now we just flip this new little triangle upward, like that. Flip this new little triangle upward, like that. They're gonna wanna flop forward a little bit, and that's okay. And this is the very last part. We just take this whole half, try to keep everything just the way you have it folded. Take half of it and fold it right in on itself. Just like that. And same thing with the opposite side. Try to keep all these little folds just how you've got them. And then fold the whole thing in on itself. Crease it down really, really good. It's fine if it's not perfectly lined up. And now it should look like that. And the other side's nice and smooth. You're gonna flip it to the other side and kind of crease it in just a little bit, and then fold it in half, just like that. And there you have it. You just open it up. You can hold on to it right here, just kind of pinch these little parts together, and you just made an awesome paper airplane that's going to impress everybody in your class. And what I like to do is put a little staple right there to keep it all tight and together so that it stays like that, but you can also just let it kind of hang open a little bit, but it looks like this on the underside. And you just pinch it and you fly it. They're really good flyers and they're really fun. And one piece of advice that I have for you is if you mess up or you do it and you want to do a new one, don't try to use the same piece of paper because all the little folds might confuse you a little bit. Try starting with a new little piece of paper for the first few times as you're learning, and making all the folds fresh as you start your new little paper airplane. Anyway, have fun making them. If you have any questions, give me a call, but I know you're gonna love it. Bye guys, love ya.